You know, we spent a lot of time this week talking about stop and frisk, certainly tonight, no exception. But while we may debate a policy here, I want to underline something, that it's a policy, not the cops themselves, that I've got a big problem here. And I know I speak for everybody at the table. You can't overestimate what police officers put on the line every day to do an incredibly tough job. And there has to be a balance when it comes to needs of safety, while making sure not to overexert power. Now, the pressures of the job, they certainly take a toll, and we have seen, unfortunately, some real tragedies attached to it. And I think finally that there's a big awareness and a destigmatization, if you will, of stress and really concerns about some of those dark thoughts that people have. Well, tonight in our special report Behind the Badge, we take a closer look at a tragedy that's growing coast to coast here. I'm talking about police suicide. Sergeant Michael Savino, he's a trainer with the Nassau County PD, and he lost his best friend, his fellow officer, his partner to suicide 2 years ago. Now, although a couple of years have passed, as you'll see for yourself, his feelings of guilt and grief over not being able to save his friend, they still haunt him. He spoke publicly for the first time with Phyllis One's Carolyn Fortino.
Sergeant Michael Savino has been a part of the Nassau County Police Department for 26 years. He began by patrolling the streets of the 3rd Precinct in Williston Park, transferred to the Aviation Bureau, and then took on training officer recruits at the Police Academy. But Sergeant Savino says the turning point in his career came when he met his partner.
I first met him when I got hurt. I went to the Air Bureau to convalesce. He was working there. And similar interests got us kind of together, boating and all the same interests. So he kind of took me under his wing, showed me around the place. And he was just a funny guy. So I didn't really want to be doing what I was doing at the time, light duty work. It was driving me nuts. So he kind of helped me through it, putting me in the right frame of mind to stay there without getting myself in trouble.
Sergeant Savino and his partner became close friends right away, spending many summers at Mount Sinai Harbor boating and fishing with their wives and children. But as the years passed, Michael began to notice subtle changes in his friend's personality. Michael struggled to understand what was happening, but the harder he tried, the more withdrawn his partner became.
It was a big effort to get him out of his house. Not laughing as much. I kind of joked about it with him, you know. We used to have belly laughs all the time. He would laugh till he cried, and I just wasn't seeing that in him. But, you know, I asked him 1,000 times, and we talked about everything, and everything was good, you know. He just preoccupied, claiming it was, you know, something medical. I think it was an ear problem or something. It was always something that was just changing his mood, but he never opened up as to what was going on.
As more time passed, Sergeant Savino spent less time socializing with his partner. Their careers led them in different parts of the police force. It became more difficult for them to connect outside of work. And then one night in April of 2010, Sergeant Savino's life changed forever.
I tried throughout the weekend to get together with him, like we do. You know, he would try. I was busy. I would try. He was busy. And one particular night, he called up and asked me to come out, and I couldn't. So I said, I can't, you know. Just kind of an off-the-cuff invite. We both had to work in the morning. And I said, I can't come out. Kids, family, can't do it. So, yeah, that was the last time I spoke with him.
Michael's partner didn't show up for work the next day. After 2 days of frantic searching, fellow Nassau County police officers found his car parked on the edge of the water near the docks at Mount Sinai. It was empty except for a note saying goodbye to Michael and asking him to look after his family and his children. Michael was at the dock when rescuers pulled his friend's body out of the water.
Part of me was thinking that maybe he's all right somewhere. Maybe we got to find him because he's, you know, still alive. Or part of me was thinking that maybe it was just, you know, maybe he ran away, you know, hoping for the worst or hoping for the best. But you know, we all knew, you know, everybody knew that was looking for him. We're all looking for an excuse or some outside shot that it didn't really happen, but everybody knew. You know, he was one of those guys, when he did something, he did it right. And, you know, I knew the bottom line was what happened.
And I should tell you that Sergeant Safino received counseling required by Nassau County, and we thank him for sharing his story as well as obviously his dedication to stop other people, especially on the job, from taking their lives. But we're going to have a complete show tomorrow, and I really encourage you folks to check it out, especially anyone in law enforcement or anyone with a loved one in law enforcement. It's at 6 o'clock. We'll have a full-hour report on police suicide, special edition of RFL.